All right, guys, welcome back to the Cowboy Zone. We were both kind of running behind today, so we're trying to play catch up right now. Couldn't get the nice, pretty intro like we normally have, but you're going to get the same Cowboy Zone content. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm Marcus Jones, Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee.
And I'm Lambo from Cowboys Y'all, coming to you from Johnson City, Tennessee. Actually, lately it's been Kingsport, Tennessee, but
By, by way
same
of
thing
Kingsport.
basically. Yeah, by way of Kingsport.
All right, guys. So we're at 11:27. We're still going to get you guys out of here in time to start watching the games and get your fantasy lineup set. Lambo and I are kind of doing it in the background ourselves right now. So if you're watching with us right now, be sure to get in the comments and let us know you're there. Also, make sure you share this to your favorite Facebook group as well as your personal page. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channels. I am Bluff City Cowboy and Lambo is Cowboys Y'all on YouTube. So I see we got quite a few people watching, so let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you guys for tuning in, Jack Meeker.
What's up?
Appreciate you
What's up?
joining.
And forgive me, guys, because I am quickly setting my last two fantasy lineups at the same time, real quick. Oh, there's a guy out right there. Definitely
Who's
need to get
out?
him up. Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, he's out. I saw that. All right, guys. So got a big game this week against the New York Giants Monday Night Football. It's one of those games where um it's a lot bigger than it looks. Uh, Jack Meeker said, "Get it, Lambo." So we got to get this win.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of news to talk about in terms of injuries. So let's go ahead and get into it first. And let's start off with the injury report for this week. And once again, if you're watching, be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to subscribe, and let us know your thoughts and your comments on everything we're talking about today. So let's get into the injury report.
Injury Report.
All right, so it's a pretty full list, but on their side is not as impactful as our side. We'll start with Dallas first. So, got a little bit of surprising news this week in terms of Quentin Bohanna dealing with the neck injury. He didn't practice on Thursday, Friday. He was limited. It's kind of up in the air in terms of whether or not he plays. I think they said it's kind of leaning towards yes, but you just never know. Monday Night Football game. And then we got the usual suspects. Ron Curse still out. Connor McGovern is out, but he's probably a week away, so he'll be back soon. Micah Parsons is another surprising one on the injury list.
He's got the flu, right?
They're saying it's the flu. Yeah, it's not COVID or anything like that. But you guys know just from past football experience, the flu can be draining for a player. So we might not get the same Micah we've been seeing, but Micah Parsons at 80% is probably better than most of the defensive ends in the NFL.
Yep.
All right,
Big
Mendoza,
fat.
thank you for joining. Also, Dak Prescott still out, but they're saying he should be working his way back on the field next week. And then another one that we've been kind of paying attention to all week is Dalton Schultz. He missed Thursday and Friday practice. And it looks like we're going to have a tag team duo. Mendoza, I saw your post in our private group where you posted the Road Warriors picture talking about Peyton Hendershot and Jake Ferguson kind of being a tag team duo and holding down that tight end spot against a team which historically our tight ends have completely dominated.
Kind of paying attention to all week.
So that one should be very interesting to watch on Monday night to see which guy gets the most reps and to see which guy goes off because they just have no answer against us at the tight end position. Lambo, how do you feel about the tight end spot going into Monday night with Schultz out?
Like I was saying before, in most years, when our top tight ends out, there's a little bit more reason to worry. Have less optimism. The days of like Fasano or name your tight end.
Right.
But I feel really good about it. Honestly, I don't feel like there's that much of a drop off, mainly
Mhm.
because these two rookies, man, they're nice. I think they could honestly both be starters on a few teams in the league.
I agree.
So I'm excited about them. I'm excited to see them get on the field. I feel like they'll be just as much of a receiving threat as we've seen from Schultz. Honestly, I think they have that same ability. Um, I don't think there's going to be all that much fall off. I mean,
Okay.
I really don't. Outside of not having same rapport, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Just time together, stuff like that. That could be a little, but I don't know. I think they're going to be very solid. I look
Okay.
for them to have a solid game.
All right. So we talked about all the bad news. Now let's talk about a little bit of good news on this injury report. So as you guys can see, Michael Gallup was a full participant on both Thursday and Friday practice, and it is fully expected that he will be a go on Monday night. Coach McCarthy came out and says he doesn't expect them to see 70 snaps, but even if we can get him for 40 snaps, that does a lot to our offense and our scheme. Lambo, Michael Gallup's first game back after the ACL injury. What do you think his effect will be on the team, just himself and the offense as a whole? What do you expect to see from him?
I think it's huge from multiple perspectives. I mean, for one, it's a leadership thing.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the experience we've had out there on the field at the receiver position, there's not much.
Hasn't been a lot, right?
I mean, just that alone, the things that he can bring into the huddle in between snaps to the young guys, telling them what to look for, what he's seeing,
Mm-hmm.
that alone is huge. Um, Even if he's a decoy, that's big. That's going to help us out. But I think if he's out there on the field, he got in some full practices. I think he's going to make an impact. I don't necessarily think he's going to come out there and blow up, but I can see him getting 4 catches for 65 yards, potentially a touchdown. And just the leadership aspect that he brings is going to be huge. And I tell you what, nobody I know is more excited than my 6-year-old. That's has been his favorite player for the last couple of years. He is diehard Gallup fan, so I know he's excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. Um, so what do you look for in terms? I mean, we all know he's gonna give us that back shoulder fade. Hopefully, him and Rush have some type of chemistry with that. How do you think it affects just opening up Lamb and making him look more like a number one or 1A like he has in years past?
Just the attention that he's going to bring, and you mix that in with Noah Brown and what he's shown over the first 2 weeks. Teams are actually going to be paying attention to Brown now too. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't even going to be just Gallup. Teams are starting to realize, man, we got to account for Brown. We've been showing CeeDee Lamb all this attention.
Yeah.
Brown's been doing work. We might need to
Right.
show him attention. Oh, but now we got Gallup. Now we need to show all three of them attention.
Yeah.
So I mean, no matter which way you put it, now we now have three solid options out there on the field, and that's going to open somebody up.
Exactly. And just like Jack Meeker said, just with them being second stringers, it works in our favor. Guys like Noah Brown,
Right.
because they had a lot of time with Rush, and it's kind of been paying dividends so far. And just like Jack Meeker said, now the past couple of weeks, Brown's been getting number one and number two cornerbacks on him. Now we get to see him for the first time going against a number 3 corner. So he should have a chance to get even more open given the opportunity. Um, One last question, Lambo, before we move on to the Giants. With Michael Gallup back, do you think we see Lamb inside more, or does he still kind of stay at that Z position, move around? Because
I
Gallup doesn't
personally,
move much.
yeah, I personally think we do see him inside more, and I think that's going to be the best version of Lamb that we've seen this year
Mm-hmm.
because of that. I
Yeah,
think I think more Lamb inside is a more productive Lamb.
right. And
So we'll
we'll talk
see.
about that at the end of the show once we get to our fantasy favorites to see if Lambo or I have Gallup, Lamb, or Brown as our fantasy favorite for this week. And Mendoza asked the question: is Gallup expected to play? According to just listening to press conferences, it does sound like he's going to play this week, Mendoza. But McCarthy said don't expect him to have a full workload in terms of playing 70 snaps. If he just came out there on third downs, I'd be happy. Anything he can give us to keep this offense moving would be beneficial. All right, with
Mm.
11:36, let's take the next 5 minutes and go through the Giants injury report. So I guess the biggest news is both of their bookend edge rushers sound like they're going to play this week. So you got the first round pick, Kayvon Thibodeau, and then you also have Azeez Ojulari. Both of those guys were limited participants on Thursday and Friday. Both of them are expected to play. So Tyler Smith gets another challenge this week. He gets either another double-digit sack rush in Ojulari, or he gets I believe, a top 5 draft pick in Kayvon Thibodeau to go up against. Lambo, how are you expecting Smith to give us a performance in his third NFL starting left tackle?
I think he's only going to get better by the week,
Yeah.
unless you are obviously going against like a elite top 3, top 5 guy. I think you would have his struggles, but I'm not too worried to be completely honest. After seeing what he's done these first 2 weeks, and then going back to the Shaq Barrett thing right off the bat, first game, bumping outside and just doing what he did. I think he's going to continue to learn, continue to get better. I don't think we're going to see any fall off. I think we're going to continue to see progression from him, and I think overall he'll have a very solid performance.
Yeah, and just looking at the all 22 the past couple of weeks, you would expect a young tackle like Tyler Smith to struggle against speed pass rushers, because we all think of him as just a big mauler who's a physical guy. He actually has performed well against the more athletic pass rushers like the Shaq Barrett types, and kind of held them in check. So I don't think these guys are going to really be able to turn the corner as well as they think they will. And I see we got Professor O in the building. Professor O, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we can't. I don't think we can call it the world's largest cocktail party anymore, can we? But that was a great game, Tennessee and Florida yesterday.
And let's talk about no Cedric Tillman was on the field. Like, that's big. Potentially one of the top receivers in the entire nation.
Yeah, definitely. One of those guys we'll be paying attention to.
Oh, yeah. That was a good game. That was a really good game.
There's a lot of good games yesterday.
Hendon Hooker for Heisman.
All right, so let's keep going through the Giants injury report. It looks like Leonard Williams is going to be out this week, so that kind of helps our young backup guard who's starting for us right now on the inside. Should open up some running lanes because Leonard Williams is really good against the run, even though they do have 2 large other D tackles we have to deal with. Looking through the injury report, anything else stand out to you, Lambo? Just going through.
Let me zoom it back in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I know it sounds like a daycare center in my house.
I remember Mendoza on Wednesday night talking about the starting corners for the Giants. And Mendoza, I asked you the question, which corner is not playing? And just looking at the injury report now, see Aaron Robinson has not been practicing this week. So they're going to be down a corner.
Goodness, man, look at all those DBs on that list.
Yep.
That goes into the fact that we got 3 solid receiving options out on the field.
Yeah. I don't know where Justin Lane and Nick McLeod are, but whether they're major contributors or not, there's still guys on the roster. Eventually, your number 1 and number 2 are going to get tired. So if they have 6 corners on their team, we're basically looking at 3 of their corners being out this week. So that could be huge in terms of our offense and the way they're able to move the ball down the field, especially on any extended drives we can get out there, because either the starter will have to stay in and be winded, which we saw what happened when Dallas had that problem with Cincinnati. They got their only touchdown. And either the backups will have to come in and they may be just guys off the street. And then Professor O also telling us that Kadarius Toney also looked like he's going to miss.
Man.
And also another guy, Wan'Dale Robinson, hasn't been practicing this week, so he may be out. So when you look at that team, they don't use Golladay. Robinson was an early draft pick. Tony's a guy who gives you good stats when he plays, but he doesn't play a lot. It looks like they're going to be relying pretty heavily on David Seals. to make some plays for them against our two top-tier cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like we better stop the run, in my opinion.
And it sounds to me like Diggs might get a pick this week finally for this
Yep.
season. Man, and it also sounds like Cowboy Dale may have jumped the gun on his Kadarius Toney joke, but the video is already out. So,
well, I'm still loading it up right now, so just taking a few minutes. Computer's going slow this morning. But because this is a rivalry week, we do have a Cowboy Dale prediction coming later on in the show.
and it's dang good, man.
Man, my computer's going extremely slow loading this thing. All right. So let's go through the injury report a little bit more, see if anything else stands out. And Professor O also makes a great point. Special teams comes into play. Your backup corners are usually very influential in covering punts and kicks. Normally punts in particular because they're usually like the wings or the gunners. So watch out for Turpin. It might be some opportunities there for him again this week. And I forgot about Richie James also as another receiver that's kind of a journeyman. Yeah, just like you said, Jack. Stop Barkley, tee off on Danny. I see I got my guy Jay in the Bay joining us again. Good luck to your Niners also. Should be a good game. I mean, you guys got Jimmy G back, so you guys are rocking and rolling. All right, Lambo. So we're at 11:43. Hopefully I can get this Cowboy Dale video to load before the show ends. So we won't give you the Cowboy Dale game predictions, but we do want to hear you guys. So let's get your game predictions ready. And Lambo will go ahead and go into our next segment, which is game predictions for this week's game.
Jeff in the house.
Game prediction.
I'm sorry, Lambo. I cut you off before I started it.
No, I was just saying, Jeff's in the house. What's up, Jeff? And wait a second. There was a comment I liked earlier. Let's throw that up for a second. Rocky Top is undefeated.
Rocky Top.
Yeah, baby.
College football is always better when Tennessee's winning.
And the SEC is that's one thing a lot of people have been saying lately too. That I always see a lot is SEC is better because when there's more competition in the East, it makes it so much more fun to watch.
All right, Lambo, I gotta grab my charger real quick. I think my computer's going slow because my laptop's about to die. So while I grab my charger,
get these game predictions.
Give the people your game prediction and kind of let them know why you got it. And if anybody posts some in the comments, put those up as well.
Let's go. Jack Meeker, I'm gonna go ahead and put yours up. Sorry for the kids. I got 4 young ones. 27-9. Jack Meeker's got Dallas winning 27-9. Everybody else get your game predictions in here. Mine is going to be, I always like doing it right off the top. So I'm going to say I'm feeling really good about this week. The Giants being undefeated is a complete fluke. Complete fluke. They are not a good team. I don't care. We're going to win 37-17.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's going to be a good game all the way around. I mean, we're going to shut them down in the passing game. We're going to give Saquon Fitz on the ground. He might have one play. He's going to do the whole, let me average 3.1 yards a carry into the third quarter, and then I'm going to break one for a touchdown, and that's going to inflate his yards per carry, but that'll be all he does all game. He might get some garbage time dump downs, but I think Cooper Rush and our receiving corps going to have a good game. I think Zeke's going to have a good game. And I think special teams is going to be good. I think Turpin has an explosive play. My dog is really loud. Bailey, lay down. And, 37-17 Cowboys.
All right, Lambo with the offensive explosion as well as the blowout. So when I look at this game, Monday Night Football, Giants are undefeated. They're at home. I think they have something to prove. I think we win definitely, but I think it might be a little bit closer. Professor O said originally had this as a low-scoring game, but after a lot of film study, Dallas defense will completely overwhelm the Giants 31-13. 17-13. All right. Matt with another
Ow!
blowout.
Oh,
William Coulter getting an early start on bold prediction, saying Dallas will get a touchdown on defense. So, kind of like Professor O said, this defense, our defense, should easily overwhelm them. They're decimated at the receiver position. They may almost have to pull out Galladay and hope he can make some plays. We have to stop Barkley. They're missing some DBs on their edge. Like Jeff just said, we got another weapon back. We're down our starting tight end, but our two backups are really good. I like Cooper Rush, but I just can't give a backup quarterback 30+ points. Not yet. So I'm more 24-13 for this week's game. I think we win it easily. I don't think it's close, but I just don't know if Cooper Rush has the juice to score almost 40. Shane Odom has 24-14. All right, I got about 20 seconds on this video, Lambo.
oh, let's go.
Professor O saying he had a 17-13 earlier, but they have no juice at all. I agree with that. And also, we also have D-Law, who's historically had very good games against Dallas. So you add that in with Michael Parsons going against these two very young but talented tackles, and there are some plays that could be made. So that defensive touchdown that William Coulter talks about, I mean, it's very possible. And then we got Mendoza with a similar score to me, 28-13. Mendoza saying 4 different touchdowns. All right, you guys are getting an early start on these bold predictions. Everybody's coming with the heat this morning. Professor, okay, everybody's going bold prediction. I'll hold the Cowboy Dale video for another few minutes. Let's go ahead and get into bold predictions because you guys are already getting an early start on it.
Bold predictions.
All right, so let's go ahead and go through some of these. We're at 11:49. We're almost done. Give you guys some time to set your fantasy leagues, get your favorite beverages for a full day of NFL football. All right, William, I'm going to count this as a bold prediction, so I'm marking it down. If you have another one, let me know. And Mendoza's bold prediction, 4 different touchdowns, rushing, receiving, special teams, and defensive. That would be a great Monday Night Football game if you had all 4 of those from one team. Who else has a bold prediction? Jeff has Gallup deep touchdown in his first game back. Jeff, give me a number when you consider deep. Is it 40? Is it 50? Let me get a number with that deep touchdown. Jack Meeker giving another bold prediction saying Diggs doubles up. Does Diggs have a interception against Daniel Jones? I don't think he does.
He should.
Maybe
But I don't know if
I'm
he does.
overlooking. But yeah. But that would be great to see him get two interceptions. Professor O saying 1.5 sacks for Osa. Definitely could happen. They have a revolving door in the inside. And Daniel Jones is just horrible in the pocket. He runs right into sacks. He's terrible at reads in the middle. So there are definitely going to be a lot of opportunities. So Jeff has a question for you, Mendoza, on your bold prediction. He wants to know who gets the Dallas defensive touchdown. And Mendoza answered that Micah gets the touchdown. All right, so it looks like that's pretty much all the bold predictions. Hold on. Jeff says he predicts a 50-yard touchdown from Michael Gallup. All right.
Mine is we get 2 pick sixes on our defense this game. 2 pick sixes in one game. From 2 different players.
You said 2 pick sixes?
2 pick sixes.
All right.
In the secondary.
William Coulter has Parsons gets the triple crown: sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery. And Shane Odom says both Pollard and Zeke both have more rushing yards than Barkley. So Professor O has a question. Lambo.
Ooh, that makes it
These
really bold.
players.
Give me both corners.
Both corners, okay.
Diggs and Brown. Pick six,
All right.
pick six.
All right, my bold prediction: both tight ends get a touchdown. I think we scored 3 touchdowns. One comes from Hendershot, one comes from Ferguson. So the tight ends are heavily involved in the red zone, and then somebody else gets a touchdown also. I'm looking for the streak to continue. I think these guys really enjoy playing with each other, and I think it shows on Monday Night Football. All right, guys, we're at 11:52. I knew Mendoza. I knew you would love that with the Hendershot Hive. All right, so guys, we're at 11:53. I got your bold predictions. Now let's see if we can get this video to play with Cowboy Dale giving us his game prediction. Hold on, my computer's really slow today, so let me try to get this thing set up. Lambo, I think we'll have to be on the screen this time. Normally we're off.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get it to play.
Daniel Jones, I tell you what, you're gonna have sore bones, man. That's what I'm talking about. Cowboy Dale is back, man.
Freezing.
I'll try
It's
to get
freezing.
it. Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
We may have to just post this on our social media.
Maybe.
All right, we're at 11:54. Mendoza says the Road Warriors. Yeah, Mendoza, you got to coin that phrase if they start to get extended playing time. Professor O saying Cowboy Dale might be related to Lambo. I don't know.
I hear that all the time.
There's a slight resemblance. All right, Lambo. I don't know if I'd be able to get this thing to play properly. And if I did, it would take me too much time to get it set up.
Yeah.
So we may have to do without the Cowboy Dale video. But if you guys check my social media and Lambo's social media, the Cowboy Dale video will be posted with his game prediction for this week's game. Let me see if I can try one more thing really quick. So before we go, Lambo, and I'll try this one more time. Let's go ahead and go into our last segment and get our fantasy favorites for this week's game. So, guys, one more time, let's get your participation. Get your fantasy favorites for the Cowboys game and in any game going on this week during the week 3 slate of football games. So, Lambo, let's get those fantasy favorites ready. And let's get to it once I find the video for it. Everything's just out of order this week. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left. Get your fantasy favorites ready.
Fantasy favorites.
All right, Lambo. So, this week's game, who you guys are fantasy favorite in the Cowboys matchup?
I'm gonna have Zeke this week because I think we're gonna stay in the lead the entire game, and as that lead builds, obviously we're gonna eventually start to run the ball a lot more. So I think Zeke gets to eat.
Okay.
He gets to close the game out. I just think he's gonna have the touches to have a great fantasy day, and he's looked hungry all year. I think he has a big game this week, and then outside this game, I got Christian Kirk. He had 17 points week 1. He had 25 points week 2. He's kind of been under the radar, sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't pay much attention to Christian Kirk. I think he's going to have another big week. They're going against the Chargers. I think they're going to have to pass the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he has another big game, Christian Kirk.
Yeah. So I see we got a lot of them coming in the chat. Professor O having Tyreek Hill against Buffalo. If you guys aren't aware, Buffalo's down 2 corners and a safety, maybe both safeties. And what's more than likely going to be a shootout, Buffalo's number 1 in third down efficiency and in scoring offense. I don't think their punters punted more than 5 times all year. So Miami's going to have to put up a lot of points to keep pace with them. And there's nobody who's going to benefit more than Tyreek Hill. My guy Jeff has Devontae Adams, gets fed a lot this game. Hunter Renfrow is out if you guys have him on your team. So make sure you make those necessary changes.
Yeah, you got 3 minutes to take Renfrow out of your lineup.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through all my teams right now really quick. And I see Shane Odom has Noah Brown has a monster game. And Professor O also has Noah Brown. You know what? I'm on the same bandwagon with you guys. We talked about it earlier in the show. New York is decimated at the corner position. You got Michael Gallup coming back, which takes some pressure off of what now will be our number 3 receiver. Noah Brown showed the ability to play inside and outside. He's not going to get a lot of attention. I think he gives us a good game this week. And when we say fantasy favorite, we say 15 points or more. We're not trying to pick out somebody who's going to get 1,000 points. And we also don't try to choose the guys who people consider as the top tier guys in the league who were drafted first or second round. Mendoza saying Pollard in another game, Amon-Ra. Mendoza took mine, so I come up with another one really quick. Jeff asking, should he start Pollard or Michael Carter? You know, Jeff, for me, a lot of people are talking about Pollard having a great game this week, and I can see that. But Michael Carter has a much higher floor because he's so heavily involved in the passing game in New York. He's probably going to give you 5 catches for 40 yards just without even going to rushing.
Pollard's more of a boomer bust.
Yeah. And the Jets play the Bengals, and the Bengals definitely have something to prove, so they're going to put up some points. Their cornerbacks aren't awful in Cincinnati, and their safeties aren't awful. So there may be some opportunities for those running backs. So outside of this week's game, I hate that. You know what? I'm going to stick with the Lions game, and I'm going Swift. I like Swift a lot. I think Swift is averaging 7 yards a carry this year right now. That offensive line is just hitting on all cylinders. They're playing Minnesota, and we saw Minnesota get ran and thrown on last week. I think they'll definitely be run on this week. So, and Swift is very good out of the backfield as a pass catcher also. So I'm taking Swift as my guy outside of this week's matchup with the Cowboys. All right, Lambo, the video's not loading. So, guys, just check our social media today and tomorrow so you can see the Cowboy Dale game prediction. And it's 12 o'clock. I hope you guys got your lineup set. But before we go, Lambo, let the people know where they can find you.
Y'all can find me at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon at Cowboys Y'all. Instagram, Cowboys Y'all 88. I'm probably going to post the video up on my Facebook page at Cowboys Y'all and on my YouTube at Cowboys Y'all for sure. And then I think Marcus might be posting as well.
I'll be posting on my YouTube. Yeah. I mean, my Instagram and Twitter.
All right, so you guys check it out.
All right, guys. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Bluff City Cowboys. You can find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys. Be sure to join us this Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, for another episode of the Cowboy Zone. Hopefully, we'll have another Victory Wednesday. We have friend of the show coming to join us from Cooley's Controversial Takes, Ryan Cooley, diehard Washington Commanders fan, very knowledgeable player. He's going to give us some insight on his team, and we're going to break down this matchup together with the Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Do not miss this week's episode. And thank you guys for joining us for the Cowboy Zone. Enjoy your day. And Monday night, let's go Cowboys.
Let's go Cowboys.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you for watching the Cowboy Zone.